Hey, listen, what you do not want to do when you're in the midst of your mid career crisis is exactly what I am going to be um, sharing with you today. And this is important, right? Because there's so many things that swirl when you're in the midst of your own personal mid career crisis. And for some, it may feel like a midlife crisis, even though you're not at the midpoint of your life. I digress. But if that's you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Make sure my volume is up. But there's some things that you do not want to do that are easy to be distracted by, that are easy to succumb to when you're in the midst of this uncomfortable place where things seem super foggy. You're lacking the clarity that your heart desires in order for you to confidently take the next step in a new direction, or whether it's in the direction that you're already going, but you have newfound awareness, but you lack clarity, right? So therefore, you've been stuck. You've been in this place of stuck for some time now, and it's like the walls are starting to close in on you, and it's getting super tight and super uncomfortable. And in a minute, you're gonna come out swinging, and I'm trying to head you before you end up in that space, right? So that you can step out of this thing or into whatever is next for you gracefully, powerfully, and unapologetically, right? So stick with me. I got three things I want to share for you that I do not want you to do. I want to recommend that you do not do when you're in the midst of your own mid career crisis, right? If you're here with me live, do me a favor and say, hey, D, wherever you may be watching this. If you are catching the replay, do me a favor and just type replay, and I'll come back through and show you some love as well, right? And if for some reason you happen to be new to me, listen, I'm glad that you're here. I don't know how you found me, whether I just randomly popped up on your timeline, whether someone else has shared this just on their timeline, maybe they shared it with you directly, maybe they tagged you in it, however you found me. I'm glad that you're here. And so that we're no longer perfect strangers, or at least me to you, I'm Danielle, the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach, and I have made it my business to help mid career professionals free themselves from their 9 to 5 without regret. It could look a couple of different ways. It could be you moving out of your current 9 to 5 into a different 9 to 5. That could be in a different industry, a different track, doing something totally night and day from what you're doing now. And that can be scary and daunting after having almost a couple of decades, if not more, of professional experience doing a thing and having amassed this expertise, right? It's a thing. It's a big, can look like a big, hairy, scary monster, right? And I support my clients in overcoming that, right? And creating what's next in a way that aligns well with their lifestyle, but also positions them to create the life of their wildest dreams, the thing that they once thought they would do in their next lifetime, or that wasn't even really possible. It could also look like supporting you if you currently have a 9 to 5 and you're looking to take the big leap into full time entrepreneurship and letting go of the security of the 9 to 5 as you know it, right? And the lifestyle that that's afforded you, but not necessarily letting go of the lifestyle, but more or less creating your corporate exit strategy that aligns with the lifestyle that you desire. And that lifestyle that you desire may be different from the one that you have now, right? But you don't really know until you start doing that work and really facing that monster if it feels that way for you. So that's what I do and who I do it for, right? And so I know that there's this convergence that happens in the lives and careers of high performing, high achieving mid career professionals, where they start to feel um, for some it may feel like a sting, for some it may feel like the walls are closing in, for a lot it feels like, in most of them it feels like unfulfillment. It feels like this sense of jadedness, just you're going through the motions, you've lost the passion, you've lost the zeal, you've lost the zest for what it is that you spend most of your life doing, day in and day out. We'll say from 9 to 5 in air quotes, depending on what your work schedule looks like, right? But what you are doing for a career, what you are doing for income, what you have decided to align yourself with, especially if it is in alignment with what you may have studied and obtained a, at least one, maybe a couple of degrees in, right? So you spend all of this time and energy and effort developing this knowledge base, and then this on the job expert experience, and then ultimately this expertise. And then it's just like, well, wait, I don't even really like it here anymore. Like, what's this about? Who am I? What is happening? Am I broken? My life feels like it's out of control. All of these things are pulling at me, and I don't really know where to go. I don't really know what to do, right? So you're in this space, and that's what I call the mid-career crisis, when you start looking at life and career, with your eyes wide open and recognizing and feeling what you're feeling the discomfort, but also being unsure. The crisis comes in when you're unsure of how to turn your life right side up, right? How do you do something different? Right? What could you possibly do? So here's the thing. Here are three things that I am encouraging you not to do during your mid-career crisis. And if you're here with me live, do me a favor and say hey D. Hopefully I'll see the comments during the live and not after like it does sometimes. But either way, I'll come back through and show you some love. Hey Zach, I see you. So here are three things. The first thing that I recommend you do not do is that you do not ask for permission. Do not ask for permission to start exploring, to even dare to do something different. Do not ask for permission to pursue something different. You do not need permission. All you need is to make a decision around what your desire is. And you have, like, I'm giving you the permission now so that you don't have to worry about asking anybody else for it, right? Go explore and see and seek and do whatever it is that you need to do and have the conversations. Invest in a life coach, partner with a life coach. That's what we are here for. That's what I'm here for, right? You don't need permission. So even coming to work with me, you're not asking for permission, right? This is a partnership to help you get clear on what's not clear right now, right? To help you understand who you are in this season, better understand who you are in this season, because the chances of you being who you were when you started this journey now are slim. You've experienced a lot, you've seen a lot, you've grown a lot, you've changed a lot personally and professionally. And sometimes the lens that we have on ourselves is slow to catch up with who we really, really are, right? What's important to us changes, what we value changes, what moves us changes, and that's okay, right? So please don't ask for permission to do something different, right? Trust your gut, follow your heart, but know that you don't have to go through the process and the motions of figuring it out yourself, right? There is a safe space called coaching, life coaching to be specific, that supports you in thinking big, thinking differently, dreaming differently, and also rearranging the pieces of the puzzle that are your life to paint a new picture, right? Leveraging the pieces of the puzzle that you have and also identifying what pieces of the puzzle that are missing so that you can go out and get them or create them. The second thing that I do not want you to do while you're in the midst of your mid-career crisis is to wait for permission, right? So there's asking for permission. Let's not do that. But let's say that you have already asked for permission. Like, the waiting game is over. You don't need permission. You just need desire and to make a decision about what it is that you're going to do, right? Now, if you've, I don't know how long you've been following me, or how often you've heard me talk about it, but I often share about what I call your personal board of directors. So I do believe in speaking to your personal board of directors if you have one, right? It's kind of like they keep you within a safe bounds, because these are your trusted connections, family, friends, colleagues, whomever your board of directors is made up of, right? But they are not there to confirm or deny, to accept or reject. They are there to keep you balanced. So you're not necessarily asking for permission, right? But in the event that you feel you need to share, you have your personal board of directors, right? And then when you take it to a different level, your life coach is also on your personal board of directors. And I also share that so should your therapist be. But the difference between having your personal board of directors and also a life coach is that there's no bias in this relationship with your life coach, right? It's different dealing with people that know you personally and professionally, and they have this experience that they're bringing to the table, experience with you that they're bringing into any conversations. And sometimes that complicates situations based on people's perspective of you, right? Um, as opposed to when you're working with a life coach, right? Listen, it's all about you. You're the pilot. We figure this thing out, and in my eyes, there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't do, even if it hasn't been done before. Right? Somebody's got to be first, right? And if it's something that you want to do where it's already been done, okay, then that's proof that it can be done for you as well, right? So if you've been asking for permission, I want to encourage you to shift how you're showing up. Instead of asking for permission, put people on notice. That's healthy, right? This is what I'm thinking about doing, um, or this is what I'm doing, right? But let the waiting game go. Like it's go time. It's go time. The third thing that I want to encourage you not to do when you're in the midst of your mid-career crisis is to do not depend on a third party to fund your continued personal and professional development, right? And this is primarily for my 9 to 5ers that are accustomed to having training and development paid for by their employer. And here's why I say what I say, because this could also invoke an unnecessary waiting period where you're at the mercy of your employer and the funds that may or may not be available that someone may or may not approve of, right? That could be hindering you from getting the support, the knowledge, the awareness, the insight, the aha moment, the clarity that you need in order to make a conscious decision about what's next. If there is something that you desire, then I want to invite you and encourage you to open your wallet and pay for the help and support that you need. I know it's a thing. And I was even in that space for a while too. When I was gainfully employed, wanting my employer to fund some training opportunities, development opportunities that aligned more so with, I won't say more so, but aligned with what I wanted to do, right? But I was also able to articulate the value add to the organization. So when I started to play in that space, I started to get some pushback, right? And I could have sat on it. And to be honest with you, years later, I probably would still be waiting, right, for a response or maybe for a yes. But it was in the moment when I decided that, you know what, I'm doing this regardless. I tried to see what opportunities were available, in the event that they said, yes, I understand that may invoke a service agreement where I may be tied or bound to this organization for extra time, or else I'll owe the money back, right? I was willing to do whatever I had to do, but I didn't get what I needed, so I had to take matters into my own hands because at that point I wasn't asking for permission anymore. I wasn't waiting for permission, and nor was allowing myself to be dependent on some third party in order for me to expand um, my being, right? And to tap into what is now a whole new career for me, a whole new lane and realm of opportunity, all because I was willing to dive in head first and pay for out of my pocket what I needed when I needed it, right? And if I had waited or stutter stepped, a season or a month to more, then my life as I know it and opportunities as they've been presented, none of this would have been, because I would have been in a season of waiting, right? These opportunities would have passed me by. And so a big part of why I'm able to do what I am able to do now, why I was able to get into the program that I was able to get into and say yes to it, was because regardless of whether or not somebody else is willing to pay for me, I was willing to invest in me and the support and the help, certification, and whatever else I needed. And there's been way more of that on the back end of leaving my job, investing in um, know-how, support, coaching, mentorship, all of the things, right? It's a thing, and it's so freeing, knowing that, hey, I don't have to be robotic about this thing. Like, I'm not bound to what my job is willing to pay for. Like, if there is something that I desire and I could pay for it, I'm going to find a way to pay for it. And I could do it in my own time, even if that means I have to use my leave to go and get what I need that's going to set me up for whatever is next for me. So I wanted to encourage you in those ways, so that if you are in the midst of your own mid-career crisis, if you're in the midst of, which might feel like a midlife crisis, um, I want you to know that there is hope. I want you to know that you don't have to stay stuck, but I want you to know it all starts with you making the decision that enough is enough, and that you are going to do unapologetically whatever it takes in order for you to turn your life right side up. And with that being said, I am hosting my next shift experience, and I want to invite you to help you do just that, right? So if you have been feeling stuck, if you have been feeling unfulfilled, if you feel like you're almost at your wit's end, you know you need help of some sort, you may not be crystal clear on which way to go, I want to invite you to my next shift experience to help you take a moment to just focus on you, right? To remind you of who you are, right? To get you clear about the next step in this process of figuring it all out, right? You got time in the game. There's so much going on for you. You want to have steps 1 through 100 figured out. And I'm here to tell you, you got to worry about step one. Step one. And I'm giving you 2 steps. Step one, come to the shift experience. And step 2, let me guide you. Let me guide you through that, right? So this is not a work, an experience or a call that you're coming to just listening to me talk. No, it's an intensive slash workshop, right? Where we're actually putting pen to paper. I'm actually holding a mirror to you and getting you out of that quicksand and you feeling stuck and not knowing, which way is north for you, right? And I have a very unique way of doing it. I've had clients come to the shift experience and they walk away, with the S back on their chest, um, with just renewed confidence, right? And also clarity about who they are and where they're going. They've walked away, they've gotten new clients for those that are entrepreneurs, they have gotten promotions, they've gotten new jobs. And there's something about this space that I've curated, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And the testimonies get richer and richer from every single experience. And so I've decided to bring it back again, right? Just because I know I designed it to support you with getting the clarity that you need, right? The three pillars in my space as Danielle the coach are clarity, confidence, and then calibration, right? Getting the clarity you need about what's next, the confidence for you to act on it, and then supporting you with calibrating with this new version of you, with this new life that you have kickstarted, that you are creating and that you are actually living in. And when you turn things right side up, when you turn your life right side up, there's some things that's going to fall off the wall. And it's nothing like having built-in, baked-in support and accountability already in place to support you and to hold you accountable and to reassure you, right, in a safe space created just for you, that it's okay and that you got this. And that when that swirl and that spiral starts to happen again, it's just like, no, you're rooted in something different this time, right? You know where you're going. You've created the plan about the vision for this life of your wildest dreams, right? And you actually can live it in this lifetime. So that being said, I want to invite you to join me at the next shift experience. So as of today, so I've dropped a link in the caption of this video wherever you may be watching it. And if you happen to be maybe like driving and listening, the link is www.daniellethecoach.com/shift, SHIFT. Now, I want to invite you to use code unstuck at checkout for some special savings. And then, so at the time of this recording, it is on a Wednesday. This Friday, 48 hours from now, if you register by this Friday, which would be August 25th, 2023, you will also receive a bonus, which is access to a Q&A call with me. It'll be an intimate Q&A call with me where you can ask me anything. And so that'll take place next week. And then the shift experience is 2 weeks from, actually from today. So I've embedded something new, adding a little something extra, just to make this experience even richer, and to begin to get you the support and accountability that you need. And this just goes back to exactly what I just shared, right? Don't wait for permission, don't ask for permission, and don't depend on a third party to fund what you need for your continued personal and professional development. Sometimes you got to go get it on your own, and a lot of times that feels the best anyway. So I do want to invite you to join me. The link is in the comments. If you happen to see this, you don't see the link, something, whatever you need, just drop a comment and I'll see it and I'll come back through and get you whatever you need. Yeah, and share this with a friend, right? You don't have to come by yourself. If you want to bring a friend, bring a friend. But I've made with the code Unstuck, it's super reasonable, right? And if this is nothing else, it is the first step can be the first step for you to begin to choose you, right? And put your money where your heart is, right? Whatever the size of the investment, right? You put your money where your heart is. At some point, you get to take control of your destiny. You get to take control of where you show up. You get to take control and align yourself with what's most important to you. And you get to change your mind about what you do for a living, where you show up, right? What moves you, right? What you value. All of those things you get to choose. You always get to choose. So if you picked up what I was putting down in this video, let me know in the comments, wherever you may be watching this. And also know that I have some stuff in store for you, and I'm excited. I'm excited to go on this journey with you. But it all starts with you and making a decision. You get to choose. All right, share this with somebody. Do me a favor, wherever you're watching this, like this. If something I said spoke to your soul, let me know that too. I'm always interested in seeing the feedback. And I'll see you at the shift experience. Later.